Oh man, hello. So the title of today's discussion is up and running. The title of today's discussion is The Only Reality is I Am. Right? The only reality is I am. A lot of y'all have been hitting me up with questions, and I feel like a lot of y'all need a little spiritual whooping today. All right, so sit your ass down and get this lesson. All right. So the only reality is I am. What are we going to talk about today? All right, today we're going to talk about this. Your thoughts about reality do not make reality. Your feelings about reality do not create reality. Your feelings and thoughts about reality mean nothing. The only thing that means anything is who you say you are. It is I am. Okay? It is I am. Right? Most people live imprisoned by their perceptions, believing what they think about reality is reality. Right? There's going to be a deeper message in this, so I need y'all to pay attention today. Please pay attention today. All right? Please pay attention today. All right? Most people live imprisoned by their perceptions, believing what they think about reality is reality. Well, isn't thinking manifesting? No, it's not. All right. But thought is what? Thought is interpretation, not existence. Feeling is a reaction, not truth. Thought is an interpretation. It's not reality. Okay. Feeling is a reaction. It's not truth. When you say I feel unworthy, you are describing a cloud passing through the sky and not the sky itself. The real I, the pure awareness, watches these clouds drift by without becoming them. Beautiful. Jesus said, right? Jesus representing your I am awareness said what? Judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. He was not asking you to suppress emotions or suppress thoughts, but to see beyond the mirage. Reality is not what your senses or thoughts report. Reality is not what your senses or your thoughts report. Okay? It is what is before the thought I am this or I am that arises. Okay? So reality just is. Reality will always find this beautiful way to prove you right. If you're walking around saying, oh, it's just not working out. Oh, this is so difficult. Oh, I just don't know how to manifest. Because what reality always says yes. But when you finally choose that everything is working out, now reality can actually follow you. All right? Cool. Hola. See. Muy bien. All right? The only constant is awareness. The awareness that witnesses, all right? So we're going to talk about this, all right? Because after today, I want you to start separating your thoughts and your feelings from I am. Okay? I am is who you say you are, what you declare reality to be. This is the true creative power. Your emotions are just reactions. Your thoughts are just interpretations. They're both already manifestations of something else. They're not creating anything. Only your identification is creating. The awareness that witnesses your joy, your despair, your doubts, that silent observer never changes. That is God, right? So Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. Stillness does not create God. Okay? Stillness does not create God. When you're still, the power of God is not swelling up within you. Okay? It simply reveals what has always been. Here's the thing, okay? Let's get right to it. You have always been God, whether you want to be or you don't want to be, whether you feel good or you don't, whether you know you are the fulfillment or you don't. You've always been God. That was never the choice that you had to make, okay? The choice that you had to make is because you are God, right? Right now you already have everything. You get to decide if you are going to consider your pure existence as enough, as the fulfillment, as the divinity that you are, as perfection. My existence is prosperity. My existence is love. My existence is perfection. Or are you going to walk around pretending that you're somebody who does not have shit? Because both of those assumptions come true. You are already God. You already have everything, whether you decide that you do or not. Whether you walk around trying to feel good or not. Whether you walk around trying to control your thoughts or not. Whether you walk around trying to control your feelings or not, you still are God and you have everything. The only decision that you have to make is to decide, do I have proof of life right now? Am I alive? Yes. Okay, well then I have a choice. Do I have everything or not? When we say that you are the fulfillment, this is what we mean. You are the manifestation of God. Okay? The Spirit of God chose you as its dwelling place. And so just your existence, your breath, your heart beating is proof of your fulfillment. You are the fulfillment. When we say fulfillment, all right, think about this, okay? When you have a desire, your desire is simply proof that you are a expanding, existing being. Your desire is proof of your existence. Your existence is proof that you are God. You being God is proof that you are already the fulfillment. How do you view your desires? Do you view your desires as some kind of torture? Or do you understand that that is the fulfillment right there? Your every breath that you walk is the fulfillment. How do you see yourself? Okay? Stillness does not create God. It reveals what has always been. When thoughts quiet and feelings subside, the truth of your being shines through effortlessly. But here's the thing. Even if your thoughts are running and your feelings are going crazy, they're all over the place, guess what? You're still just as much God. But who do you say you are? Are you making that shit difficult? Trying to play whack-a-mole with your feelings? Because you feel good, I'm going to get everything I want. Because you feel bad, I'm just not going to get what I want. Guess what? Both statements are true. Not because of how you feel, your feeling is meaningless, but because of what you said about it. Your feelings and thoughts are already simply a manifestation. Okay? Who you say you are, that is the manifestor, that is the creator, that is the awareness that is creating. Your emotions and thoughts, feelings, whatever you want to call them, do not create anything by themselves. You do. You do. The toaster doesn't work without electricity. You are the electricity. Okay? So here we go. You are the I am, the presence that gives rise to thought, emotion, and matter itself. Right? You are the I am, right? God is everything. God is the fabric of reality. And you are one with this fabric of reality. We talked about, yesterday we had a discussion, it was called the divine ego, right? Or the holy ego. And we talked about how the ego simply acts as the altar by which God views itself, right? So you couldn't have this individualized experience without the ego, right? So you take form, right? You become the word, you are the word made manifest into flesh, right? You are God walking in human form. And your ego allows you to take this individualized perspective of reality. Okay? Cool. Now, this individualized perspective simply, the purpose of this is for you to actually be able to choose who you decide that you are. But that individualized perspective is still one with all that there is. You are God, you are source, you are the fabric of reality, you are everything. And that individualized perspective is simply meant to choose who you are. Okay? So I want you to think about it like this. God has no favorites. God plays no favoritism. God has no preference, right? God does not judge good, bad, right, wrong. That's simply us doing that. But we always get a choice on who we desire to be. Who do we say that we are right now? Okay? From this individualized perspective of all that there is, we get to make a decision. Who do we say that we are right now? And when we make that decision, now all of reality conforms. And you can choose whatever. This is your free will. You can choose whatever. You can choose to be a conqueror or a victim. Prosperity, or you can choose the illusion of lack. Because you are all that there is. You're not influenced one way or the other. You're unconditionally supported in whatever you desire to be. But this individualized perspective, it's still God. Okay, it's still God. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Okay, you are the I am. You are the presence that gives rise to thought, emotion, and matter itself. The Buddha called this the unborn. All right, Meister Eckhart called it the ground of being. Neville Goddard called it the awareness of being, right? All these different terminologies, phrases for the same thing. Each pointed to the same realization. You are not what happens. You are the consciousness to whom it happens. This is a very important distinction to make on this journey, right? Whatever you're feeling because of whatever happened, you're not that feeling. You are the consciousness observing the feeling. You're simply having the feeling as an experience, but you get to still say, who am I? Who am I in this situation? All right? The mirage of mental weather. Sorry, let's get into feelings a little bit. The mirage of mental weather. Thoughts and emotions are weather. Consciousness is the sky. One who mistakes weather for the sky fears every storm. Okay? One who mistakes weather for the sky fears every storm. Of course, if I think that my feelings and emotions are creating reality, I'm going to deny myself a human experience. I'm going to run away from my emotions. Oh, I feel good or I feel bad. How do I get out this feeling so I can get what I want? It doesn't matter. You don't have to get out that feeling to get what you want. You are the awareness simply observing yourself having. You are the awareness behind the emotion. You're not the emotion. The emotion does not change you. This is the thing. When you declare who you are, because you are the awareness behind the emotion, because you are the sky, and the emotion is the weather, what you're feeling does not change who you say you are. What you're feeling does not change who you say you are. Who you are is unchanging. All right? The awakened one sees every cloud as passing art. Feelings of fear, doubt, and longing are divine echoes asking to be seen and not obeyed. They're just alarm clocks. They're just showing up in your consciousness, in your awareness, saying, hey, look, this is how you used to think. This situation, let me show you how you used to feel. And now you get to make a choice. Who are you through that? Okay? So Ramana Maharshi said, find out who it is that suffers. It's a beautiful quote. Find out who it is that suffers. It's the experiment that we used to always do, right? When you look at your hand, okay, who is the one looking at your hand? When you move the hand, who is the one that moves the hand? Right. When you say, I am sad, who is the I that you're talking about that is experiencing the sadness? Your true self, who you really are, okay? When you turn your gaze inward, the sufferer dissolves and only the witness remains, the unmovable, eternal I. When we're always focusing outward, outside of us, we're always focusing on the fear, focusing on the doubt, focusing on how that situation looks, we're always going to be identifying with the sufferer. All right? But when we turn our gaze inward, the sufferer dissolves and only the witness remains. Beautiful. When you turn inward and ask this question sincerely, the illusion of separate self begins to dissolve. All right? Who is it that feels pain? Who is it that worries? Who is it that clings to control? Who can't let go of control? The mind rushes to answer, me, the one with the story, the past, the wounds. Yet when you search for that me, you find only passing sensations, thoughts, and emotions, all witnessed by something silent, vast, and unchanged, the real you, pure awareness. That witnessing presence does not suffer. It observes suffering the way light observes shadow, without being touched by it. Beautiful. Suffering exists only when awareness identifies with the temporary, with thought, identity, or feeling. But the instant you become aware of the suffering rather than as the sufferer, freedom dawns. You realize, as Mr. Maharshi taught, that ego is an illusion that imagines itself to be real. Beautiful. Ego is an illusion that imagines itself to be real. Pain may still arise, but it no longer defines you. The fire burns, yet you discover yourself as the flame, right? Pure, luminous, and free. Beautiful, 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 right? So next, the true definition of Godhood. Okay, the true definition of Godhood. All right? You are not becoming God. You are remembering God. Okay? Whether you are rich or poor, joyful or grieving, you are always God in expression. The question is never if you are God, but how you are God, with your desires realized or denied. All right? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. You are always God. That's not the question. Well, how do I remember that I'm God? That's not the question. You just are God. You've remembered it once. You were it whether you remembered it or not. Okay, now that you remember it, the only true question to answer are you God with your desires realized or denied? Because you're God, you already have everything. But you get to decide right now, am I going to actually accept that I have everything? Or am I going to walk around pretending I don't have anything? You realizing you were God was never the issue. Your existence is proof that you are God. Whether or not you accept that you have everything, you have everything. But when you finally accept that you have everything, you can actually receive everything. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what your brother is saying? All right. So Psalm 82:6, right? I said you are God's and all of you are children of the Most High. When you say I am, right, you invoke the eternal name of the divine, the name revealed to Moses, right? I am that I am, Exodus 3:14. Every statement that follows I am shapes the world you walk through. Speak, right? Speak, I am unworthy, and you create that world. Speak, I am divine, and the heavens answer, it is so. The question is not, are you God or not? It's irrelevant. You are God. You are God. Step into that remembrance right now. That's fine. But are you going to be God with all of your desires realized because you are God and everything is perfect and you can simply walk around in that fulfillment? I know we're getting deep. We're getting beyond the individualized nitpicking. Oh, I need to figure out exactly how I should write down my desire 83 times. So no. You get to decide right now. If your desires are going to show up perfectly without you even asking, here's the key. You're already God. You simply need to decide. Are you God with all of your desires actualized? Or are you God without? Who are you? Who do you say you are? Okay? The law of reflection. The world is not happening to you. It is happening as you. All right, so as Neville Goddard wrote, the world is yourself pushed out. The world is yourself pushed out, right? Everything you meet, everything that you meet in this life, right? The joy, the resistance, the fear mirrors your state of consciousness. You are not here to fix the mirror, but to recognize your reflection in it. Fixing the mirror doesn't work. It's just going to lead you to being tired, burnt out, exhausted, frustrated, angry, crying. That's all. You don't have to fix the past. It exists. It's a perfect version of you. You simply need to decide right now who you are. Right now. I don't care about what happened 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago, 5 seconds ago. I don't care. Who are you right now? You are already God. Are you God with everything or are you God with nothing? Which one? And when you finally walk in this realization, you will not ever even have to specify what you want anymore. Because who is the one who gave you the desire in the first place? The awareness that you are. All right? Hope y'all are hearing me. It's simply a waste of time thinking, should I be more specific or more vague with this request? It's a waste of time. Who do you think you're praying to? Who do you think gave you the desire? Who do you think is carrying out the unfolding of that desire? Everything that you meet, the joy, the resistance, the fear, mirrors your state of consciousness. You are not here to fix the mirror, but to recognize your reflection in it. You are not here to fix anything out there, but to what? But to simply see your reflection. See that God is reflected in everything. And you are the center. God is the fabric of reality, and you sit right here in the center of reality as the individualized expression of God, choosing who you're going to be, moment by moment, allowing reality to rearrange around you. Power. Pure power. What more do you want? What other technique do you want? Some of y'all do ask for my technique. Here's the technique right here. You are God in the middle of God, deciding who you are going to be as God, allowing the God that you are to unfold in reality. That's my technique. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to let go. If I'm all that there is and I let go of it, where does it go? There's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing to let go of. There's simply me deciding who I am. And my identity is that I am God. And I don't even have to remember that I'm God whether I want to be God or not. But what is the decision that I make? I am God with the perfect reality. I am God with everything that I desire. And everything that I desire shows up because I am God. That's it. There's your $1 million technique right there. We cut straight through the bullshit. I don't worry about the affirming, the visualizing, none of that. I am source. I am God whether I remember it or not. I just am God. But I get to decide, am I God with what I want or am I God without what I want? Because I'm God, I have what I want. There's no past to fix. There's only my decision of who I am right now. That's it. Okay? Cool. Here we go. Once you see this, right? So you are not here to fix the mirror, but to recognize your reflection in it. Once you see this, you stop asking reality to change and begin changing your assumption of being. Why would I change? Why would I ask reality to change when reality is me? Why would I ask reality to change when reality is God and I am God? Reality is just the unfolding of me. What sense does that make? Why would I ever go out there and beg you to do something? Just change the way I see you. It's crazy because today I had made a declaration. I had said, I had decided that I was going to get some money. And I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw somebody say that they just manifest money out the blue. And I was like, I'm finna do that too. And I was just playing around with it, and I was like, I have this money, and I'm source. I can make it out. And I was thinking of all the crazy places that it could come out of. Right? Then I let go of it, and I got home. I had a letter in the mail from a company that I worked for about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was actually fired from this company. Right? But it was an old 401k. I was like, damn, I didn't even know I had one with them. Matter of fact, I thought that I bypassed it. But big amount of money, just out of nowhere, out the blue. It was out of nowhere. Why? Because this is the byproduct of you being God. Life is a game. It's a joke. It's fun. It should be light and fun and flowing. You can have whatever you want when you remember who you are. And when you remember who you are, when you remember that you're God, how could you not have what you want? How could you not get what you want? Right? So beyond emotion and beyond thoughts, right? So Lao Tzu, right? This is a quote by Lao Tzu. To the mind that is still, to the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. It's so funny because I love reading quotes like this because I'm always like, it could be a little bit more profound, right? But to the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. We could say it a different way, in a triggering way, right? A way that's a little bit more accurate. And how I always do this, I take you through steps, right? We will say, reality bends to your will. And everybody's cool with that. It's cool. Then we'll say, when you make up your mind, the universe bends to your will. People can get with that. It's, oh, yeah, I can get with that. I can get with that. That's okay. When you decide who you are, God bends to your will. Don't get uncomfortable now. Don't get uncomfortable. It's the exact same thing. God's job is done. Reality creation is done. All that there is already exists. It's all that there is. Well, it's still infinitely expanding. But all that there is exists. You're simply choosing who you're going to be right now as this individualized perspective of God. Right? The ego, like we said, the ego is a prism that casts light, right? It casts light so you can get this view of this individualized perspective. And so when you take this perspective of who you are, who you decide to be right now, I am prosperity, I am this, I am that, whatever, God bends to your will. God unconditionally supports you. What's the difference between me saying God unconditionally supports you in whatever you decide that you are, or God bends to your will? What's the difference? And I say God because I want you to understand how profound this power within you is. How profound this message that we're talking about is. Okay, it's a very profound message. And sometimes if we don't say it in a way that catches attention, it can go in one ear and out the other. All right. Saying the universe bends to your will, I've heard that 1,000 times. God bends to your will. That catches your attention. Like, what do you mean? I just explained what I mean. I just explained what I mean. God unconditionally supports you and whoever you decide to be. I know. It can be a little uncomfortable, but that's good. Because in the discomfort is where the growth is. Right? We don't get, when you're comfy, you know what I'm saying? You got your ugly ass feet out, wiggling your toes. Sometimes it's hard to grow like that. But in the discomfort, right? That's when we can start expanding. All right? I love y'all, by the way. I love y'all. Okay? So here we go. Let's talk about stillness. Because we always talk about Psalm 46:10. Yeah, Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. One of the translations of that, okay, is cease striving and know that I am God. I know. That's so good. Cease striving and know that I am God. Just cease striving. Stop trying to be worthy. Stop trying to be loved. Stop trying to control your thoughts. Stop trying to control your emotions that are always changing, thoughts always changing, circumstances always changing, people always changing, and simply know that I am God. And if I know that I am God, now I can choose whoever I want to be. I can choose what I want to be from this knowing. This is what it's saying. It's saying, sit your ass down and remember who you are. Cease striving and know that I am God. Now, when you know that you're God, do whatever. If any of y'all have worked with me, well, a lot of y'all have worked with me, all right? This is what I'll be banging over y'all's head over and over and over again, right? Look, do whatever you want, but do it from the knowing that you're God. Do it from the knowing that you're God, right? And all of a sudden the magic starts flowing in. Should I do this? Should I do that? Don't care. Do it from the knowing that you're God. Remember who you are, all right? Now, here's the thing though, okay? Because when we're trying to get to that understanding, to that knowing of who we are, right? It can be a trap for us to say, oh, well, I have this specific person I want to call him, right? You might want to call his little ugly ass, right? But then you decide, oh, I have to stop striving. You still want to call him, but you say, okay, I am God. And now you call him, and you're like, oh, it didn't go well. What is the problem with that? There's multiple. But let me, matter of fact, let me break it down because there's multiple. All right. The first problem is this, right? Not doing something to get something is still doing something to get something. Do you hear what I'm saying? Catch up. Keep up with your boy, all right? You intentionally trying not to do shit just so you can get shit is the same as you doing shit to get shit. It's the same thing. Okay? The same way that you were trying to manipulate reality and, you know what I'm saying? I know he don't want to talk to me, but I'm going to go force this conversation on him to get him to open up about his emotions so I can get my SP back. That intentionally trying to do something to get is the same as me being like, oh, I shouldn't do anything. Let me just stop striving and remember that I'm God. And you're still peeking out, scratching your neck, fiending for him. Oh, please come back. Right? It's the same thing. Okay? So when I'm saying cease striving, what I'm saying is pull your energy back to your damn self. Remember that you are the center of this reality. Know that you are God. And then walk with the knowing that every step that you take is blessed and everything must unfold perfectly for you. I don't give a damn how it unfolds. I don't give a damn how it unfolds. I don't care what it looks like. It must. It must work out because I say so. Because I am God. Because I am source. Because I am the center of reality. All right? So you trying not to do some shit just to get some shit is still you striving. Okay? It's still you trying to get it. Right? I know. Well, Alex, I have to, I have to do something to get it. No, you simply have to be. You simply have to exist and know that you are source and know that it is done. Because here's the thing. The I am God and I know it's done moves a whole lot differently than the I am God and I hope that it's done because I know that I'm God and I have to stop trying because I know that I'm God, but I still want it and I'm hoping that this brings it to me. You move completely differently. It's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different state of being. Well, Alex said stop striving, so hopefully this works. I've been doing it for 8 hours. All right. Know that your source, put yourself back in the center of your reality and know that everything is working out for you. Know that everything is working out for you. All right. All right. Here we go. Let's go a little bit further. All right. Stillness is not the absence of motion, but the absence of resistance. Cease striving. It's not the absence of motion, but the absence of resistance. I no longer resist the mirror. I don't fight against the mirror. The mirror just is. It just is. It's neutral. It means nothing. I am the power. Circumstances don't create reality. Emotions don't create reality. Thoughts don't create reality. I create reality. Who I say I am. And I am source and it's all perfect and I have everything that I want. Therefore, everything that I want must flow to me. Even before I think about what I want, it must flow to me. That's what it is. Okay? So here we go. When the mind ceases to wrestle with what is. I want y'all to hear this. This is an important thing. I think this is going to open up somebody's mind right now, okay? When the mind ceases to wrestle with what is, with whatever you see, the situation looks like whatever. That man that you want, he got 2 girlfriends now. The money looks funny, it looks low, the bills are piling up, okay? But who do you say you are? Well, who do you say you are in the middle of this situation? I don't care what the situation is saying. Who do you say you are? That is what matters. I have to give dramatic examples sometimes because I'll give a light example and somebody will be like, well, what about this? Well, what about this, Alex? It's all the same, y'all. It's all the same. Your girl just walked out the back room of the party with 2 BBCs, right? Sweating, all right? It's all the same. I wouldn't take her back, but it's still all the same, okay? When the mind ceases to wrestle with what is, hear that. When you stop wrestling with what is, it becomes like a calm lake reflecting the heavens without distortion. It's still perfect. It's still perfect. Sweaty as hell, right? In that stillness, the laws of creation reveal themselves not as commands to obey, but as harmonies to join. Here we go. The universe bends toward the consciousness that no longer struggles. Cease striving. Cease striving. Let me put this. Let me say this another way. God bends. God bends toward the consciousness that no longer struggles. For it mirrors the order and peace of its own divine source. Because God, the God within you, the source within you doesn't reject anything. God doesn't reject anything. God just is. And when you stop struggling against the mirror, fighting against the mirror, you mirror the order and peace of your own divine source. In stillness, desire no longer chases, it attracts. Effort dissolves into effortless alignment. It does not matter what it is. I go with the flow. I know it's all working out for me right now, no matter what. When your awareness rests in silence, all creation rushes to fulfill your word because your vibration matches the rhythm of God's. The still mind does not beg, it beholds. The still mind doesn't beg for shit. Please show up different. I don't know why you look like this. It simply beholds. It looks and it sees it is what it is. And it's all working out perfectly. I do not resist the mirror because whatever I see is just the path of least resistance to what I want. The human mind may try to judge it, but whatever I see is the path of least resistance to what I want. Beautiful. It does not plead for manifestation. It permits it. It gives you, I look at reality, no matter how I feel about it. No matter how I feel about it, here your boy, here your big brother, okay? I look at reality, and no matter how I feel about it, I permit it to be what it is, knowing that this is the path of least resistance to what I want. Hopefully this put a little light bulb off in some of y'all's head. Oh my God, you're right. All right? For in the quiet knowing of I am, the universe recognizes its master. The one who has remembered that creation begins not in noise or striving, but in sacred stillness. The universe does not respond to emotion, but to being. Emotion is the echo of belief. Emotion is a manifestation of belief. It's a secondary manifestation. It's not the source. Your emotions are not the source. Your thoughts are not the source. You are. Emotion is the echo of belief. Being is the original sound. To manifest from truth, you must move beyond identification with temporary feelings and stand in the still center of I am. There, thought becomes servant and not master, and feeling becomes confirmation and not confusion. Do you hear what I'm saying? I know you hear what I'm saying. I trust that. Okay? And when I say being, do I mean physically, mentally, spiritually, or all? I mean all. I mean all. I mean all. Right? When you think of being, I simply want you to think of existing. Right? Being, existing, flowing, going with the flow, enjoying your life, knowing that you're God, doing what you do. Okay? So when I say being, that's what I mean. It's an echo of a belief. It's an echo of a belief. Exactly, right? It's important that we understand that echo. Right? It's important that we know that echo. Does that mean not to control anything? What can you control? What can you control, Alyssa? Nothing. You can't control anything. You can only control yourself and your perspective, and you actually looking out there and saying, I allow this to be what it is, knowing that this is perfectly unfolding to what I want. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean I shouldn't control anything? What can you control anyway? Control is is simply a plea of desperation. Trying to control anything is a prayer of lack. That's not your power. Your power is not in controlling situations, changing people, changing things. Your only power is in changing your damn self, is in choosing how you see the situation. You can't control shit. You cannot control anything, anybody, except for you. But guess what? That's all you need, because everything is attached to you anyway. Simply by you choosing a different perspective of yourself, everything shows up beautifully. Okay? So that's what being is. It's existing. It's permitting everything to be what it is and knowing who I am in the center of everything. If I change the way I see them, they change, but isn't that trying to control? No. No. How is that trying to control? That's true. So if you're doing it out of effort, like, okay. So I remember when I first ran across thought transmission, and I was like, oh shit, I can transmit thoughts. So I would sit there and I would think hard. And I would just imagine my thoughts just shooting up in somebody else's mind. This is what they think. They think this. They think that. Okay? So when I was in that perspective, of course, if I'm doing that shit, I'm going to think that I'm controlling people, right? But here's the thing, okay? There's nobody out there anyway. There's only one thought. That one thought is I am. There's one energy, one source, one God, one consciousness, one mind. It's I am. Now, the perspective, okay? The perspective that you take right now, and of course you can do it. We can all do it. But what I'm saying is this, is that we make it much more complex than it is. When I decide that I am anything, prosperity, I am love, I'm whatever, okay? That I have this money, every single person, being, thing, everything in this perceived physical reality, which is just me, then begins to simply reflect my one perspective of the all. So I am is everything, but I am prosperity is just one perspective of I am. If I take on I am prosperity, that's thought transmission in itself. I take on that one thought within the one mind, and everything reflects that. So if I choose to see you a certain way, that you are this, you are that, guess what? You have to reflect me. It's not because my thoughts are transferring to you. It's simply because there's only one thought. You can only think what I'm thinking, right? That's why he's like, oh, I'm just scared that, what if I just have all these fears that they're with somebody else? Well, then they are. Well, then they are. Because you're permitting yourself to actually know that about them. You could just as easily say, okay, I have this fear, but the fear is not true. This is who I am. And this is who they are. Boom, problem solved. Problem solved. The problem isn't solved by you going through their phone. That's just going to hurt your little ass feelings. The problem isn't solved by you trying to force them to be faithful. Please. The problem is solved when you start to see them perfectly. When you start to look at this person and honor them like God. When you start looking at them like they're God, they'll show up like that. But the more that you're looking at them and expecting shit, you're just going to keep getting that version of them. There's infinite versions of them that treat you like shit. Infinite versions of them that worship you, that can't get enough of you. That's it. Mm-hmm. You're not changing anyone. You're simply choosing how the world sees you based on how you choose to see yourself. You are source. Right? You are God. Remember that, y'all. That was kind of the core of this message. The core of this message is this. Because I don't want to lose the essence of this. The core of this message is this. Whether you remember that you are God or you don't, you are God. Okay? You are all that there is. You are the infinite power, the infinite being, whether you know that or not. Okay. Now, because you are God, this simply narrows it down to two options. You are the God that has everything that you desire, or you're the God that doesn't. Come faster is crazy, Sam's. Come faster is crazy. Just looking down and seeing that is wild, right? But you either become the God that has everything that you desire, or you get to decide that you don't, right? It's all up to you. She said, Sam's like, I'm trying to be in and out of here. Please come faster with the asterisk on it. Right? So we all get to walk through life. Here's the thing. You don't have to walk around remembering that you're source. All right? You just are source. Okay? Now, you can if you want, but this is the most important thing, because why we are going down this path is because the question was, well, what's the difference between just knowing that I'm God and how is that going to actually get me what I want? Well, I constantly will go back to, okay, well, do you know that you're source just in vocabulary, or do you know that you're source? If you know that you're source, you know that if you know that you're source, you know that you are all that there is. And if you are all that there is, you have access to all that there is. So there's nothing to go out there and beg for. You simply have to decide that you have everything. Okay? I think that I'm God. I know that you are God. I know that I am God. Right? We're beyond that kind of question. Right? So you decide that you are source. Cool. Now the aspect of source is source has everything. All right? God can receive everything. And so now you get to make the choice. Are you the God that has everything, or are you the God that does not have what they want? Right? Cool. Right? So the universe does not respond to emotion, but to being. Emotion is the echo of belief. Being is the original sound. To manifest from truth, you must move beyond identification with temporary feelings and stand in the still center of I am. There, thought becomes servant and not master, and feeling becomes confirmation and not confusion. All right, next part. Last part before the reflection questions and the love letter. All right, we're going to do a little Q&A tonight, too. You're going to get nice and intimate on here. All right? So, the holy choice. Every moment presents you with the divine choice. To be God with limitation or God with liberation. To be God with limitation or God with no limitation. That is a choice. Every moment you have that choice. Okay? When you say I can't, you use God's name in vain. The name of God, I am that I am. I am. When you say I can't, you are using God's name in vain, right? You are speaking of that power within you. And you are calling it less than divine, less than all that there is, all right? When you say I am able, the universe aligns to your declaration. God aligns to your declaration. The creative power does not discriminate, right? God doesn't judge. God just is. It reflects your identity. So Matthew 9:29, right? According to your faith, be it unto you. I mean, according to your faith, be it unto you. It's right there, right? It's right there, okay? Faith is not the fragile hope that something might happen. It is the unwavering knowing that it already is, okay? Hear that, all right? It's not hoping that something might happen. It already is. It's done right now, and I walk in the knowing. I prepare the place, right? In the Father's house are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you, right? I go and prepare a place for you. So when you walk in the knowing that it already is, you're simply you're walking in that knowing. You are preparing that place for your manifestation to show up. All right? When Jesus spoke these words, he wasn't rewarding belief. He was revealing a law. Yeshua, right? Your I am awareness, Christ consciousness within all of us, right? Because remember, when Jesus was saying these things, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life, I am the way. This was not him trying to monopolize your path to salvation. You have to come through me and Christianity to get there. It was saying this is the conscious way to the Father. I am the way. Your state of being, who you decide you are. You waking up that Christ consciousness, you knowing yourself is all that there is how to get the life that you want. I am the way. What if I don't know how to get there? What if I don't know how to get the prosperity? Decide that I am the prosperity. That is the way. I am the truth. What if I don't feel like I believe it? What if it just doesn't feel right? I am the truth. I am is the truth. What you decide you are is the truth. And I am the life. And I am the life. All right. So here we go. When Jesus spoke these words, he was not rewarding belief. According to your faith be it unto you. He was simply revealing a law. Reality mirrors the conviction of your inner world. To the one who believes in lack, lack multiplies. To the one who believes in wholeness, life arranges itself accordingly, right? Faith is not about pleading with a distant God. Right? This is what the world will do. The world will get us to think that God is like Santa Claus. We make the North Pole in the clouds. We believe God has this naughty or nice list if you beg hard enough. If you do the right things according to some man's definition of morality, then you get what you want. God is not anywhere out there. God is closer to you than you are to yourself, closer to you than you are to your breath, closer to you than you are to your heart. Okay? To the one who believes in wholeness, life arranges itself accordingly. Faith is not about pleading with the distant God. It is about aligning with the God that is your own awareness. What you accept as true within is precisely what life must echo without. Every assumption you hold is a seed of faith. You are always believing. You are always believing in something. The only question is in what? If you believe in delay, it comes. Come faster, right? Like my dog Sims was saying, all right? If you believe in delay, it comes. If you believe in divine timing, it unfolds. To live by faith is to live by identity, declaring I am before the evidence appears. As Neville Goddard said, right? Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. The seen will always bow to the unseen, and the unseen is you. The seen will always bow to the unseen, and the unseen is you. It's you. It's always about you. Life is about you. Reality is about you. It's not about them. It's about you. Make it about you. Make it about you. Okay? And if you momentarily have doubts, does that change what unfolds? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Your emotion is just a feeling. It's just a manifestation of something else. It's not a creative power. The only thing, okay, that can create delay is if what? If you say, because I doubt, because I feel this doubt, I can't get what I want. You can just as easily say, I'm already the person that I desire to be no matter what. I am God no matter what. I am all that there is no matter what. Okay? No matter what. That phrase is so powerful, that no matter what, y'all. And don't just take that as lip service, okay? This is a true declaration, no matter what. I've already made the decision that this is who I am, so this is who I am no matter what. What if I don't feel worthy today? I am God. How could I not be worthy? What if I don't feel like love today? Doesn't matter. You simply are love. Your existence, your heart beating is proof of your love, proof of your worthiness, proof of your divinity. Accept it, okay? So a couple reflection questions, okay? When you hear these reflection questions, right, just allow them to sink in. Allow them to sink in, okay? Right? Beautiful. Allow them to sink in, all right? Number one, where in my life have I mistaken emotion for truth? Okay? I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Where in your life have you mistaken emotion for truth? Where have you believed that because you felt sad, you were down bad and down and out and not being able to get what you want? Where have you even considered or mistaken your quote unquote overthinking? Oh, quote unquote overthinking, right? Because it's always a good thing when you're overthinking for the people that you love and you're showing up beautifully for them. But all of a sudden, when we get on this journey, now it's a problem. Where have you mistaken emotion for truth? How do you make my inner knowing my reality? It already is your reality. So just the fact that you're asking how to make it your reality, right there, that tells me that you don't believe that, okay, when we say as within, so without, what I'll always tell y'all is that is not profound enough. As within, so without implies separation. It implies that there's a me here and there's a reality out there when it's all me. My inner knowing is reality because reality is me. There's no separation. There's no within, there's no without, there's no above, there's no below. There's just me as God in the center of me. And so the less that you perceive this separation between yourself and out there, the more everything can simply collapse and change and reflect you. Now, number 2, okay? How do I make my inner knowing my reality? Remember, guys, the answer is always in the question. The answer is always in the question. Why do you think it's not already changing? Why do you believe that there's this gap? Why do you think that your inner reality isn't just reflecting it right now? Everything that you see right now in your reality is just a shell. But who you are is bubbling up underneath. The truth is who you are, ready to pop the top off of reality, unless you perceive this separation. I truly believe that I am a godly and spiritual being. Okay, cool. Well, accept that. But I want you to accept it fuller. Accept it more fully. You are God. You are a godly spiritual being. And so your reality must reflect it because your reality is just you. Now, accept it. Stop accepting that reality is not showing you anything and start accepting that reality must, because you are. Well, what if you acted on that overthinking by seeing proof, but you came back? Does it change anything? Hell no, it doesn't change anything. Unless, when would it change something? You say it does. It's you. You're always making the law. You are the walking law. You are God walking around making law for itself, experiencing life as its own law. Nothing can stop it, right? Remember Romans 11:29, for the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Once it's done, once it's given, once the desire is there, once you claim it as true, once you claim that identity, it cannot be taken away. The only person that can stop it, right? Because we will clearly say, all right, God said it was irrevocable. So God's not stopping it. That source within you, that awareness that you are, is not stopping shit. If God is with me, who can be against me, right? No man can stop what God has put in motion, all these things, referencing the outside world. So nobody out there can stop you either, right? So who's the only person left? Raise your damn hand and look in the mirror. It's you. How could you stop it by saying it's not working out? Why would you make laws against yourself? Why would you make laws against yourself? Accept who you are. You are source, and accept that you are source with everything, and allow that to be your reality. All right? Allow that to be your reality. Exactly. I don't have to feel a certain way for it to be true, so I don't have to mistake an emotion for truth. An emotion is just emotion, right? Let's label it what it is. An emotion is just an emotion. The truth is the truth. My truth, who I decide that I am, is the truth. The emotion is just the emotion. Beautifully said. All right. Number two. What do I repeatedly declare after I am? And what reality does it sustain? What do I repeatedly declare after I am? Okay. Miss Her, what did you just say after I am? I feel like today's gonna have to be a whoop y'all ass. I mean, we might have to have a tough love Tuesday. You might have to have a tough love Tuesday. I am having a hard time seeing a different person. I am having a hard time seeing a different version of SP. Can I just focus on me and say I attract the best? Now, look here. You know the answer to this, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, all right? Yes, you can do whatever you want. I would actually recommend that you made it general because it's about you anyway. And here's the thing. When y'all start saying things like, I'm just having a difficult time seeing a good version of my SP or a different version, I'm always wondering, do you even love that motherfucker? Like, what you mean you having a hard time seeing a good version of them? Isn't this the person that y'all want to be with? Now, how can you have a hard time seeing a good version of somebody you want to be with? What is going on? Yeah, I'm not talking just to you. I'm talking to a lot of y'all. And you know, if you feel triggered, then feel triggered. Enjoy the triggering, right? How are you having a hard time seeing a beautiful version of somebody you want to be with? Are you sure that's what you want? All right, so here we go. So number 2, all right? You might be struggling seeing them this good way. You might have all of these excuses. I knew it was coming, the past. I knew it was coming. The past, there's only right now. You engaging with the past just creates more of it. All right, here we go. Now you saying the past highlights number 2. The second point. Are y'all creating, are you choosing the reality that you want, or are you trying to change the reality that you don't want? You can't change anything. So of course, if you're trying to change them, it's going to feel difficult. You're going to have a hard time. You can't change them. The version of them, hold up. Let me do the puzzle piece. Okay. The version of them that you had, that treated you like shit, exists, has a right to exist, is still God and is perfect. There's infinite versions of them. Infinite. The version of them that you want that is perfect, there's infinite versions of them as well. Which one are you creating a love story on? Are you making your journey? Here we go. Listen to your boy, all right? Because you're always creating reality. Are you manifesting a timeline where you're trying to manifest a change to a version of him that you don't want? Because some of y'all are like, oh, I've been doing this for 8 months. No, you haven't. You've been manifesting, trying to change a version of him that you don't want for 8 months. And you've been successful as hell at it. You've been very successful. Now, the only thing that you have to do is stop trying to change him. Is simply start seeing them the way that you want them to be. And make that your story. Make that your truth. I know every time I say the word SP or those acronyms, the questions just come out of nowhere. It's like y'all just hold yourselves back until y'all hear SP. And all of a sudden it's like, but Alex, what about this? Oof, weak. But Alex, my SP is different. I get what you're saying, Alex, but this SP, I get what you're saying, Alex, but you just don't understand this situation. Oh, I love y'all though, okay? I say this out of love. The point that I'm trying to make is do not make your journey about trying to change some shit that you don't even want. That's not love, y'all. That's lack. Sitting there trying to change things, thinking that it's not perfect. This situation's not good enough. This version of them can't be what I want. That's lack. That's not love. Love is deciding that, no, this is how I'm treated. Make it about you. This is how I'm treated. This is how they show up. This is the perfect version of them. This is the perfect version of me. And I love this. And I'm God and I have everything that I desire. That is love. Me sitting around and trying to change somebody is not love. Like humans, we have a very interesting definition of love, right? It's like if I can't control you a little bit, then it ain't love. That's not love, y'all. That's simply conditionally liking someone. That's all that is. Conditionally liking somebody. Right? When you love someone, you actually choose to see them as God. You actually understand that when I'm standing in front of you, I'm standing in front of God. Do you, when you are thinking about that person, you understand you're thinking about God? Or are you sitting there trying to change God? Remember, where a part of God is, all of God is there. So that version of them that you don't like, that you're condemning all of God. So how can you get what you want if you're condemning God? I want y'all to really think about this, right? Are you making this a story of love? Or are you making this a story of lack? Everybody's God, brother. Even if you want to pull that kind of question out your ass, right? You've been waiting to ask that, huh? Didn't you ask the last question like 13 minutes ago? Everybody's God. God is all that there is. God is omnipresent. What cannot be God? What cannot be God? God is everything. If God is all that there is, what do you expect not to see? We try to bring our human logic into this, thinking that we just one-upped on somebody. Oh, what about this? What about that? What do you mean, what about this? What about that? Yes, everything is God. God is all that there is. But you get to choose your experience of God. In my life, I get to choose how I experience myself as God. I get to decide how I experience my reality as God. That's we have to transcend that limited thinking, always trying to look for the holes and poke holes. There is no hole in God. God is all that there is. Point blank, period. All right? Point blank, period. Y'all really be tripping me out with questions like that. Are you just lurking in here waiting to ask that question again? Come on, man. The fuck? Yes, God is all that there is, all right? So you get to decide, are you making this story, are you making a love story, or are you making a story out of lack? Are you making a story purely, I'm simply here trying to manifest them to change? Well, then what reality are you creating? You're creating a reality where you're trying to manifest someone to change. You're just getting more and more of that, saying, why hasn't it happened? Well, this is what you're creating. Okay, let me put it in a different way, okay? If I am sitting here visualizing, trying to change something out there, so I'm visualizing myself trying to change something out there, what am I creating more of? A reality where I'm constantly trying to change things, right? So now I end up in this time loop wondering why nothing has changed. There's only now. Accept that loving version of that person, you have them now. Make it a love story. You're simply walking through reality, telling a love story. You're simply walking through reality, telling a love story. But we sit here and we make it this story of trying and striving and reaching. And yes, you're God and you can create whatever you want. So if you want to create the experience of trying to get something, that's what you're going to get. But you don't have to try to do anything. You don't have to go anywhere and do anything. You simply have to accept that it's yours right now. Accept that it is yours right now. Like I tell you, man, like the biggest test for me was my mother. Stage 4 lung cancer. Biggest test for me, right? And I remember when she was first diagnosed and the doctor was like, there's nothing that we can do for her. This was years ago. She was supposed to have months to live. I said, there's nothing that we can do for her. Just enjoy your time. 2 doctors said that. And it was that urge to be like, man, I feel like shit. Is this going to be it? But constantly making that decision, no, it's done, and telling the beautiful love story of my mom in every moment that I can see her. No. This is a perfect woman. She has a lot more life, and I absolutely love her right now. And she is the perfection of God. It is the choosing to see this person, no matter what the situation looks like, as the perfection of God. And guess what? She's still here, cancer-free. Cancer-free. You get to, there's nobody, look, nobody, nothing is outside of your power. You can just as easily tell the story that every time you take a sip of water, you're getting healed. Every time you take a sip of water, that weight is falling off of you. Or you can tell the story of, man, every time I eat this cheese, I'm just getting heavier and heavier. I'm just getting unhealthy. The pain is growing. I shouldn't eat this because it's gonna make me feel worse. Why would you tell that story? If your thoughts create reality, we can't say only some things. Only some things, but not other things. No, if your beliefs create reality, then your beliefs create reality. I just got an itch that somebody was just gonna drop a sarcastic ass comment for a second. I know my brother's still watching, waiting to tell you them thumbs getting heated up over there. All right. So your mom is so toxic, and I have 25 years of programming. Here you go. You keep reaching in the past, pulling this past into the present to define you. You're not talking about the past. You're simply talking about who you are right now. She doesn't have to be toxic. You don't have to do any. 2 minutes ago, that's the past, right? What, you thought you were going to convince me? See, this is the same thing I was just talking about, Miss Alyssa. Everybody has a no, but you don't understand. My story is worse. Everybody, if we all sat up here, everybody who has created change in their specific people, in their parents, in their friends, in their finances, every single one can get up here and tell you a whole list of excuses of what happened. Yeah, this person was toxic. They did this. This happened. The money looked like this. The situation looked hopeless. We all have those stories. But we get to decide to look at reality as if it's our love story, or look at it as if it's our prison. That's it. It's all exactly. Everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. It's a choice. To have something now is a choice. To decide that this is all working out is a choice. To decide that why is my realities not matching is a choice. It's all a choice. Man, I had one client. She was, I wouldn't say difficult, but she was very knowledgeable. She knew the fucking law. Like, she knew it. But she went to a lot of teachers, right? And we had 3 sessions, and it was just me banging over her head like, it's a choice, it's a choice, it's a choice, it's a choice. And of course, finally, when it all clicked, she sent me this long message and was just like, man, the thing that it really sunk in was finally, it was a choice. Everything flooded in when I decided that it was all working. Because that was the constant thing. It was like, look, you don't need any more teachers. You don't even need to talk to me anymore. You don't need any more techniques, YouTube videos, knowledge, books, nothing. You know it. You simply have to decide that it's working. You have this block where you're constantly thinking, no, something's not clicking. I'm just not getting it. She said, once she made the choice that it was all working out, everything flooded in. Her SP that she was, y'all think y'all have SP emotions? Man, this goddess. Hey, look, all I'm saying is this. It does not matter what state of mind you're in. It doesn't matter what kind of emotions you are facing. Nothing's impossible. To man, it might be impossible. To God, no things are impossible. To God, nothing is impossible. Remove the boundaries of what you think is possible from your mind. Remove the boundaries from your mind. And I'm talking about when you start making choices that everything is working out and that you are sourcing, you have everything, you are going to be blown away with how fast things start showing up in your life. You're going to say, God, I was sitting here stressing for 6 months. all I have to do is make a choice that it was all working out and I have to stop dragging my past into the present? Yes. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. That's all it took. Life is a choice, right? Even confusion is a choice, guys. What do you mean confusion is a choice, Ali? Okay, let me give you a good example of how confusion is a choice. Oh, I have him and I love him, but I don't know. Maybe he hasn't come back because God wants something better for me. That is what I call confusion. You're creating confusion. God wants what you want. For matter of fact, let's when it comes to your ability to choose, God doesn't meddle. God is not in the middle trying to influence you one way or the other. You get to choose. You get that divine urge within you to expand and experience more of yourself through a desire, which is a promise, but you have the free will to accept it or not. You're not being tested by anything. There's no power outside of you saying, I'm going to keep it from you because maybe you don't deserve it and you need something different and I need to put you in a season of isolation and healing. That's just your assumption. That's just your assumption. Things don't have to take time. They just have to take your awareness. Or they simply take your awareness. I'll put it like that. Things don't have to take time at all. They just take your awareness. They just take your awareness. All right? Man, you have... Look, this life is beautiful. This life is absolutely beautiful. All right? Yeah, and you can make the choice right now to simply remind yourself to decide right now. And then when you forget, you remind yourself again. Okay, but remember, y'all, when you're doing this, here's another thing to remember. You're not convincing God. God gave you the desire. You're not reprogramming God. You're not affirming things or reminding yourself that you are something to put quarters in the vending machine of God. God heard you the first time. God heard you before you asked, right? That's even what it says in scripture. Before they call, I will answer. You're not reprogramming God or convincing God. It even says God will not be mocked. It also talks about vain repetition. It's about you knowing who you are. You've made the decision. It's done. You remind yourself you've already made that decision, but you just do it to remind yourself God's already working. That bridge, you're already crossing the bridge right now. The moment that you decided it was done, you're on the bridge. Everything is already unfolding. Everything. All right. So if you believe that you're in these two in these two realities, all right, which one do you actually acknowledge? So no longer are you going to say that you're in both of those. You get to choose. You might feel like you're in both of those, but you're only in one. Which one are you going to be in, right? Because the more that we say that we're in both of these spaces, right? Well, now we're going to have a reality that reflects this confusion and these ups and downs. You don't want that shit. So just go to the truth, right? You are a source, no matter how you feel. No matter your running thoughts, your running emotions, you are God, and you are the God that has everything. And you can remind yourself that moment by moment. Can I manifest moving out of my house? You can. You can manifest a house, moving out your house, people moving out of your house so you can keep the house that you're in. You can manifest 2 houses, 3 houses, a red house, a blue house, all of that. Here go the same question again. My goodness. My goodness. My goodness, brother. What have you got going on? All right. But doesn't change come from first acknowledging that the situation is bad? And how can I see it as perfect? No. No, not necessarily. No, it does not come from acknowledge. So change does not come from acknowledging the situation is bad. Change comes from you acknowledging that you are different now, and so the situation must change. Whether you say that what you see is good or bad, whatever, that doesn't matter. What matters is that if it's not what you want, you know that this is the perfect stepping stone to get you to where you are going. The absolute perfect stepping stone. Okay? Anything. And yes, Joey, they are. All right, I feel like my consciousness has shifted, but it's as if old patterns try dragging me back. But they're not. They're not dragging you anywhere, right? You're simply taking on the assumption or the perspective. You are taking on the perspective that these old patterns or old thoughts can somehow derail God. Really think about what you're saying. These old thoughts, they're just thoughts, can derail the infinite power of God. These thoughts are just manifestations. They're echoes. They're old beliefs just flowing through you. They're not even you. They don't stop shit unless you say that they do. They're not dragging you anywhere. You're already on the right path. You are on the bridge right now. You're on the unfolding right now. All right? Love you, Alyssa. Look, you got this, man. Okay. It's my dog Thumb's been itching. Thumb's been itching to type that. So when everything is possible, so that means there's a version of you that's immortal, for example. Yeah, there is. All right. Okay. So I want to let's put this in perspective, because we will say things like that, and then I want to remind y'all that you're all immortal, that the spirit doesn't die. Okay. The body has a physical transition because that's what happens here, but you don't die. All right. Now I want you to think about this for a second. Oh, you don't have to accept this, but this is just to push you towards a different perspective, all of you. And I think a lot of us can benefit from this, because I think it'll help you even view people in a different way. All right. We've all heard this saying that says, if a tree falls, right, in the middle of a forest and nobody's around, does it make a sound? Okay. And then most people will say, no, of course not. There has to be a consciousness around. If the consciousness is not there to observe it, it does not exist. All right, cool. Now, let's think about this, all right? Exactly. Double slit experiment says no. Now, let's think about this. We have had these amazing stories where people have manifest these different versions of people. They've manifest healing within themselves, healing within others. They've manifest drawing these specific people into their life. If everybody in your reality had their own free will, could you choose a different version of someone? Yeah, and I'm going to put the document up. I'll put the document up right after. Right when we close this, I'll put the document up on here. I'm reading the YouTube. It just takes a little bit longer for the YouTube to pop up. But yes. All right. So if you can choose a different version of somebody, can they have free will in your reality? Well, the clear answer is no, or else you'd be violating all kinds of shit, right? We would just all be violating each other, stomping over each other. If you can choose a different version of other people, then they cannot exist. They cannot exist with a free will in your reality. Now, where am I going with this? All right. This is just theory, right? This is just a perspective. It's more than a theory. It's more than a perspective. But I want you to think about this. All right. Now, if everybody in your reality, right, if you are the sole God in your reality, okay, the sole God in your reality. If people aren't around you, do they exist? If they're not in your field of vision right now, do they exist? They're fragments of you. Do they exist? All right. Now let's go a little bit further. Okay. Now here's an interesting thing. The concept of time. Okay. Time is simply an experience. Why don't things, quote unquote, things do manifest instantly, meaning the moment that you decide that you have it, it's done. But how come things don't show up instantly in reality all the time? Well, it's because what? It's because time is an experience. All right? Time is this linear experience, meaning if you decide that you are prosperity, in order to know yourself as source, the illusion or the experience of time has to occur so you can experience the becoming of reality to be you. Okay? So your mind, consciousness is what? Consciousness is always creating this illusion of continuity, of time. Here's the thing. When that specific person that you want is not around you, they don't exist. When your parents are not around you, they don't exist. But guess what? Because they're all your consciousness, okay? When they show back up in your reality, your mind creates the illusion of continuity to match your assumptions about them. Okay? Let that sink in for a second. All time is an experience of yourself. The more that you can break down, the more that you open your mind to, all right, I'll re-explain it. I got you. Time is simply an experience. We'll say time is not real. It's a real experience. Why do we go through time? Okay. Right now, you can decide that you are prosperity. You can decide that you are something, that you have this person or whatever. Your consciousness, in order to flip realities to get there, your consciousness creates the illusion of continuity in time. Okay? So you're walking through time, perceiving yourself walking through time, and it simply creates this illusion that we perceive as linear reality. Cool. All right, so it's all this illusion. It's simply an illusion of reality. Now, the next part, when people are not around you, they don't exist because your consciousness isn't around them, and you are the true consciousness in this reality. Now, when they come back around you, guess what? Because you have assumptions, your mind creates what? The illusion of continuity. So that SP, when you're worried about them out there doing whatever, they don't even exist. You're just worrying about nothing right now. Until they show back up and they prove all of your assumptions right. And your mind creates this illusion of continuity, this perception of time and what they could have been doing. That's it. All right? Treat this reality like a game. Treat this reality like a game. Exactly. This is why you can sit there and you can have these. That's why you can perceive or believe that y'all were in the same place, and then that person will say something different. Or this is why. Okay, let me think about it. Let's say it like this, right? You could meet somebody right now, right? Ooh-wee. Anyways, yes. Okay. Yeah, it's all a game. It's all a game. Okay. And is it right to say things out loud in order to manifest? You can say them out loud. You can say them in your mind. Doesn't matter. You simply need to decide that it's done. All right. So I got a love letter for y'all. Because I know, I think TikTok is freezing out. So I guess I'll speak to the YouTube crowd, all right? So here we go. Beloved, remember, this letter is a letter from me to me. However, think of it or experience this as if it is you to you. Okay? If it is you to you. All right, beloved. Okay. Beloved, be still and remember. Before the world told you who you were, before thought shaped your name, before emotion drew its storms across your sky, you were I am. The first word ever spoken was your essence, breathing through creation, saying, "Let there be light." And there was. Every sunrise since has been your reflection. Every breath of wind, your whisper through form. You have never been separate from the source. You are the source playing as remembrance. You have mistaken your feelings for truth and your thoughts for law, yet both are but ripples upon the still ocean of your being. You are not the ripple, you are the water. You are not what moves, you are that by which all moves. When the world shakes and fear tries to crown itself as your king, close your eyes and say, "I am still." Watch how the universe kneels to your knowing. For the moment you stop pleading and start proclaiming, heaven rushes to meet your word. You are not waiting for God to bless you. You are the blessing unfolding in time. Your faith is the paintbrush of eternity. And what you dare to declare becomes the landscape of your tomorrow. According to your faith, be it unto you. Not because God favors you over another, but because God is you knowing itself. Let no thought convince you that you are less. Let no feeling persuade you that you are small. You are the infinite dreaming in color, the divine dressed as flesh. So walk as the one who remembers. Speak not as the seeker, but as the source. Move as the word made flesh, the living proof that divinity lives here now as you. And when you forget, when the noise of the world grows loud, return to the silence where all things bow, the silence that whispers, "I am," and that is enough. With eternal love, right? I am that I am, right? No matter what. No matter what. Okay? So we got 5 affirmations for y'all. Remember, when I say these affirmations, remember, you're not trying to become these, okay? This is divine remembrance of who you have always been. Okay, so it's divine remembrance of who you have always been. Okay? I am not seeking God. I am the awareness through which God sees. I am not seeking. I am not seeking God. I am the awareness through which God sees. Right? I am the dwelling place of God. Right? I'm the Word made flesh. I am the walking temple of God. I am the walking temple of abundance, of prosperity of the Most High. Beautiful. Number 2, my faith is law. My word is creation. And my being is the proof of the divine. My existence is the proof of God. Every breath I take, you know what I'm saying? Is your heart beating right now? That's proof of God. That's proof of God, all right? My faith is law, my word is creation, and my being is the proof of the divine. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Next, the universe bends to the stillness of my knowing, for I am the I am it serves. The universe bends to the stillness of my knowing, for I am the I am it serves. Beautiful. Two more, okay? I no longer wait for miracles. I speak, and the world rearranges itself around my truth. I no longer wait for miracles, right? You are the miracle. You stand in the middle of the miracle of your damn self and still ask for signs, right? You are the miracle. I no longer wait for miracles. I speak, and the world rearranges itself around my truth. Speak, and the world rearranges itself around my truth. And then, last but certainly not least, right? I am the presence before thoughts, the peace before feeling, the power before form. I am God remembering itself. I am the presence before thoughts, the peace before feeling, the power before form. I am God remembering itself, right? I am that I am, right? No matter what. No matter what, right? Remember, when we say no matter what means no matter what. Okay, what if you don't feel worthy? Doesn't matter, you still are. What if you don't feel like you're loved? Doesn't matter, you still are. It's divine acceptance of the truth of your being. Your beingness, your existence is the fulfillment. It's the blessing. Just the knowing that you exist is the knowing that you are the fulfillment of God. Cool. Remember that you are a source, right? So hopefully today, got some light bulbs on. I think I've really enjoyed, our discussions as of late, especially over the last week. I've really enjoyed our discussions. But of course, the document, I'll upload the document to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you can always get this. If you need any kind of one-on-one help, there's always a Calendly link in the bio. You can always do that. All right. But right now, let's do a little questions, man. If you want to come up and join, go and join. Here's the thing, though. All right. Here's the thing. If you want to come up and join and get some questions, to be fair to you, I'm gonna give y'all a 10-minute window. Okay, a 10-minute window to get some live coaching. You can do whatever. You can do a testimony. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, you can sing me a damn song if you want. You can try to serenade me. I'm open to that, right? But no, you can get coaching. You can do whatever. We can just talk. But I'm gonna try this out 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes apiece. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. But if nobody wants to join, then I'm just gonna leave and go to sleep. What is gonna be the title of this video on YouTube? The only reality is I am. The only reality is I am. Which YouTube question? So you wish you could call in. You can call in. You got to call in on TikTok though. You might not have a TikTok. What are your thoughts on taking medications for mental issues like depression? I used to take ADD medicine, but I just stopped one day cold turkey. And there's nothing wrong with it. I simply made a decision that I just didn't want to be on it the rest of my life. But there's nothing wrong with any of those things. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. When I was getting off of it, I was in I need to be completely in control of my mind, which I still believe. But to call things right or wrong at this point in my journey is, y'all know me better than that. And yeah, I have a YouTube channel. The YouTube is there's a link tree in the bio. You can go to the YouTube. Same name, Alexander Dwayne. It'll take you straight to the YouTube. And all the live streams I ever do, they're on there. I don't delete them. And they should all have the document with the affirmations, reflection questions, the outline on them. So, yeah. We said congratulations. No, that was a long time ago. Yeah, when I said it takes away, I said things do not take time. They take your awareness of having them. It's nothing takes time. You are time. Time unfolds through you, right? We think we're walking through time, but time is simply unfolding through us. The more that I decide with conviction that I have it, I don't have to walk through time. I don't have to do anything. I simply have to know that I have it and it's done. What am I doing for my birthday? You know, my birthday is coming up, by the way. My birthday is October 23rd. I'm going to Houston. So if anybody's in Houston, you know, if y'all want to get a drink, hit me up. I'll be in Houston like next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then I'm going out to Vegas for like a week. And then I'm going to LA for like a week. So it'll be pretty cool. Oh shit, happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday, my brother. Happy birthday, my brother. Happy belated birthday. But shit, hit me up, yes, man. We can meet up. My sister's out there. I introduce you to my sister. Yeah, for sure. If y'all in Houston, hit me up. Maybe we can have a little meetup. Yeah, I'll be in Houston next Wednesday through like Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Not for a good time, not a long time, y'all. Right. And if you mention anything that don't have an alcohol there, I'm gonna have to tell you, I'm sorry, but I'm busy. Do they serve liquor? If not, I'll be busy. Sorry, I got things to do. And then when I say that they helped me while I was taking them, yeah, they served their purpose whenever I was taking them, for sure. Trust your journey. This is what I would say more than anything. Trust your journey. I'm not gonna push anybody to go down I'm not gonna push anybody to take a substance, but no, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to liquor. I'm not opposed to liquor at all. But here's the thing, like, so with my diet, I don't eat meat, right? But liquor is I drink. This is what I'll constantly tell you. If what is more important, the belief about what you're putting in your body or what you actually put in your body, right? Trust me, I believe in taking care of the vessel, right? Working out, staying in shape and all that, right? Because I want to look good when I'm lifting somebody SP up, right? But ultimately, if it is all God, right? If it's all consciousness, okay? The only difference between the consciousness in this cup and the consciousness, which is us, is that we have the ability to be aware of ourself, right? In the green, I don't really partake anymore. But I do, I still do shrooms time to time. SP means specific person, my bad. I forget that everybody doesn't know what that means. It means specific person. It's like manifestation slang term for a specific person. And then what would I say is the biggest difference between knowing and expecting and waiting? So, knowing and expecting and waiting. Knowing is I am preparing a place for something that is done. And waiting is simply I'm waiting to see something to prove to me that I'm doing it right or I am that person. If we can get like that is it. You know the difference between you waiting and expecting. When you're waiting, you're hoping. It might. I hope. When you expect, you know it's coming. It's done. You choose to know that it's on the way. And then, yeah, the lives are all in the live section of YouTube. Some of them I'm going to chop down. Like the ones that we had, like the long panels at the end on YouTube. I'm in the process of downloading all of those and then just cutting it down to the actual lecture part. And then posting those as regular videos. That's why a couple of just regular videos have been popping up. That's what I've been doing. That's what I'm going to start doing. Like when we do like the one-on-one things, I'll have a separate video for that. But then if it's a panel and it's multiple people, I'll just have that on TikTok. I'm not going to put that on YouTube. Because it's like having a conversation and recording and put it on YouTube. It's pointless. I'm protected. I appreciate it. I'm protected. I'm protected. But yeah, I really don't know what goes on in Houston on a Wednesday. All I know is that Thursday afternoonish, I'm gonna go to some spot in Houston called Taste of Texas. I'm taking my sister there. But outside of that, I'm basically free. Monterrey, Mexico. I don't know. I might have to put a new stamp on the old passport. Yeah. I'm gonna add the docs. I'm gonna add the docs to the videos. That's my bad. Yeah, I know this. I'm taking my sister there. I can be around certain food and not eat it. I can be around certain food and not eat it. I'm not tempted. How do I get the majority of my protein? I don't beat my meat, so I don't lose my protein. But I mean, I eat like, that was crazy. I was about to say nuts, but like seeds, nuts, things like that. And Solomon, I know who he is. I've never really listened to him. Honestly, I don't listen to a lot of spiritual teachers. Not new ones. Let me say it like that. Like, not new ones. To the airport in Texas. Yeah. My favorite food. When I used to eat everything, it was spaghetti. It's probably still spaghetti. I like spaghetti. But probably what I eat the most, what do I eat the fucking most? I eat a lot of bell peppers. I just eat bell peppers. I just chop them up and eat them. So like, okay, so what I listen to, it's not even that I think I'm ahead of people. It's that, and because even ahead implies separation, right? Other people just take different perspectives of all that there is. I just like my perspective. I like my perspective of God. So even if I do listen to other people, it's cool to hear other views, but I don't seek teachers. I don't seek knowledge from other people. But I do listen. So y'all put me on Tom Karen. I listen to Tom Karen when it comes to manifestation stuff. I listen to Tom Karen. The guy who really got me into this was Joseph Rodriguez. Love Joseph Rodriguez. Of course, Power of I Am. I like them. When it comes to manifestation content. Now, when it comes to just spiritual concepts in general, one of the first books that I really read, which even now I still have it and it reads as a textbook, it's called The Secret Teachings of All Ages. But my goodness, it reads like it's like an encyclopedia of spirituality. It's not like reality creation or anything, but it gives you perspective on history and different religions and spiritual practices and stuff like that. It's phenomenal. It's not an easy read though. It's not like picking up a Dr. Joe Dispenza book. This is like an encyclopedia of spiritual practices and stuff. So cool. And then, but yeah, I mean, I used to like Bobby Hemmett a lot. But here's the thing, like even when it came to Bobby Hemmett, I think I was more so addicted to the information. I just wanted the information. But I always felt uneasy once the information was pulling me into my ego, right? So if I believe that this information is pushing me to see separation, to see myself as better or worse than somebody else, then I'm not going to be able to buy into it, because that is against my core value, right? So a lot of information is cool because it just helps to give me a different view of God, of the all. But, you just hear so many spiritual teachers, they come out and they speak their own limitations. Like, they speak about how everybody's against them and how the world's breaking them down and how they're going to get, it just, when I hear people talk like that, I'm like, damn, do you really think that your beliefs create reality? Do you really believe that you're God? Do you really believe that you're God? Or are you just reciting what somebody else told you? Like, because I do believe that certain people are very spiritually gifted, inclined with the knowledge, right? Some people are very, very smooth off the tongue, right? But when it comes to the core, always has felt to me as if it was a calling back to remembrance. Because if I was all that there is, and if all that there is God, then the separation is the illusion, right? That's what, like, the world will try to put us race against race, gender against gender, right? Age against age, political party. Like, the world is always trying to keep us separate. And to me, you get into spirituality and all of a sudden people are talking about chosen and unchosen and, all these things. It's like you kind of lose the essence. You build those same factions within spirituality that are out in the real world. And at that point, to me, it's hard to say, is this beneficial? You know what I'm saying? Is this beneficial? I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Miss Mara. Yeah, Joseph Rodriguez is for sure official. I didn't really understand flow until I listened to him, right? Like, just being. So me being like a ex-athlete, whenever I thought of flow, I thought of like truly in the zone, like just zoned out. But flow, you can achieve flow in so many different areas. Right? Yeah. Am I a vegetarian? I would consider myself more plant-based. But here's the thing, y'all. I cheat. Yeah, I'm a cheater. I told y'all, like, I make exceptions. I make exceptions for Nigerian food. Like, you think if somebody put a plate of jollof, some stewed beef in front of me, I ain't vegan no more. I'm finna eat that shit. Right? So I do make it, like, I think the last time I had meat, though, actually it was actually pretty often, because I told y'all about it. It was like whatever the holiday was when I went over to my parents and I was grilling with them. I got on the grill with them. But before then, it was last year. Nope, no, I'm lying. I'm lying again. Before then, it was my cousin's wedding. And before then, it was last year. Because I remember I had a stick of suya and I was in that motherfucker like, God damn. Ooh-wee. It was a bad decision. Let me wash that down with some vodka. Favorite. I like a goosey. I love a goosey. But then I like just okra stew as well. I mean, fufu. All the time, right? Some fufu. My thoughts between eating meat. Yeah, I fuck with Dr. Sebi. I fuck with Dr. Sebi a lot. I remember when I first just went full, I went, honestly, y'all, I didn't go vegan for any kind of spiritual reason. I just decided one day with this girl I was dealing with, we just decided that we weren't going to eat meat anymore. And I just decided. And I'm telling you, I got the leanest, and at that point, I got the leanest I had ever been. Since then, though, I have incorporated different meals, so I ain't as lean. I'm for sure not as lean as I used to be. because I've gotten used to like cooking stuff and eating like in this lifestyle, right? But it's funny because the weight was shedding. So I thought I was looking great. I felt great. I was looking great. And I remember my parents would always look at me and be like, what is going on? Like, what has she got you over there doing? I was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't for a health reason. It evolved into a health reason whenever I started to actually feel better. And I was like, damn, I had certain chronic like pains, like shoulder pains and things like that started going away after I cleaned my diet. And I started experimenting with fasting, things like that. So even now, right, I still fast quite often. I fast one day out of the week at least, where I just drink water. But now I incorporate lots of long-term fasts. Right? I've done dry fast. I did a 7-day dry. I've done a 25-day water, but the hardest one I did was a 7-day dry, which was, of course, dry fast, no food, no water. That was probably the most mentally difficult, mentally stressful fast that I had done. And it was only after about the 3rd day, I was like, damn, no wonder they said he's gonna die. I really felt like it. But the 4th, 5th, 6th day was very, well, 4th, 5th day, I was cool. That 6th and 7th day, it was like, damn, man, it was tough. That 6th and 7th day was tough. Over there listening to me with your eyes closed. Yeah, all that detoxing. All them headaches, man. So the parasites pissing in your body, letting out them toxins so you can start trying to eat. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But all right, y'all. I got 2% battery. So I've appreciated this conversation today. Of course, we'll be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll probably do, let me think. We're going to do the morning. I might do the morning, but if I do the morning, it might be early. Like 7 Central. Like 7 a.m. Central, right? But I keep answering your head. Been 2 years since we first met. Looks like the opposite right now, but I'm just in the middle. Okay, yes, you're just in the middle. Now accept that it's done, right? Accept that you have it. Accept that you have it. Okay. Yeah, I'm live. What you mean? How are you confused if I'm live? But I'll be back live tomorrow morning, like 7 a.m. Right? Or later. But I'll probably do 2, morning or evening. All right? But love y'all. Love y'all as always, right? You already deserve everything that you desire, and it's already yours. Accept that. Know that. Peace. All right? Peace. You better be ready.